Hello, Mark Donegan, self-healing trainer educator, June 14th, 2021. Thoughts on the flow is my topic for today's video. I'm in the middle of a 100-day video challenge that Alexis Ashby challenged me to, and I'm trying to slowly come around to important topics and produce one or two good videos. Today is not sounding like it's going to be that day. That's why I decided to talk about the flow, because flow comes and goes. And my dad passing just a week ago today has me thinking a lot about the flow today. Dad was 85. He was old, and it was expected, and he lived a good life. And we talked a lot the last few years. I was very close to my dad. Also very close to my grandmother before she passed away at 94. And again, talked a lot. Talked a lot about self-healing. Talked a lot about life. Talked a lot about death. Talked a lot about the flow. About good times, bad times, dying, in the end, the good times too, up, down, the flow. And so, everyone's getting ready for, I don't know if you call it a funeral, but ceremony for my dad. And, being like my dad and not having him talk to, I'm watching the family and watching their flow, and everybody's got a different flow, especially when, there's a death. Everybody's flow gets screwed up. Some people come to a complete halt, and other people get all excited and they can't contain their anxiety. And, of course, I'm seeing both go on in my family. Lots of younger kids and, and then children that are new to the death experience and losing somebody that they're that close to. And also, I watch the flow with other people in my life. It's part of my work. And also because my flow, I have my own flow that I'm curious about, because mine is extreme in some ways. And then other times, because of my paralysis, I have almost no flow. So obviously it has great interest to me. But then when I'm looking at other people's, and what I want to talk about and mention is often we don't understand our flow, or we're lost in our flow. And, again, looking at my family, the only people that I have concerns about are the people that are lost in their flow. I don't understand the flow. And I'm having this pointed out because I'm having other people in my family surprise me by being aware of the flow and regulating their flow. And I'm just going, okay, this is good. This is really good. So I doubt if I'm going to talk to anybody in my family about their flow, because, the last thing anybody wants is advice, especially from Uncle Mark. But, for the world in general, don't get caught up in your flow. And again, coming back to Dad and to Grandma and to those lessons that they gave me that I'm so fully clear on, what's important in life is the flow and your flow. Because nothing in your current flow matters if you do not flow. And both Grandma and Dad, were real clear on that in the last couple of years of their life, that even though they had no flow left, they could still flow by regulating their flow. And the way they regulated their flow wasn't with their body, it was with their mind and with their spirit. And they relaxed with not having things and not being able to do things. Something that I don't think most people would are capable of. My dad, well, both of them, I'd never be able to live what they showed me. I mean, I hope I can, but their will, the will to continue to flow when there was none left. And I'd like to say it all came for others, but I know them. We talked. It was of equal. They came to places in their life because they were both givers. But even Tad, at the very end, um, he he was staying for himself. He finally found a place, and I know with me that he did. He was watching me flow and screw with my flow, and we were doing it together. We were pushing each other, and it was very interesting. So the main thing I want to give to people again is that you're not always necessarily aware of your flow until it's all gone. And so when your flow is taken, and then I want to give people that are down that too, because you've had your flow taken, but it's still there. It's just being restricted, and half the time it's the medications you're on. Just to be straight up and get right around that, is the medications you're on, and then it's also you restricting yourself because of people's beliefs keeping you down about your illness or whatever. You know, and then people also don't get wrapped up into your illness and into your lack of flow. Don't, again, because it's not yours. It's not really yours. It's a universe. It's just you or something or somebody putting something in the way of the flow. And so, yeah, I'm getting a really good education again, being able to see the flow in people and see when their flow is out of control. And I mean, there's other people that live hectic lives, or what I seem to see as hectic lives, and they tell me, and I see some peace in them. But at the same time, is anybody truly at peace enough? Do you really ever have your slow flow down enough? Are you really ever enjoying life enough? And that's the other thing is success and money. It hit me like a hammer yesterday, and it's hitting me today because I have the time and ability to sit here and talk about the flip and flow. Most people don't. They got to get up and I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to. That was a big thing, in a funeral setting or in a death setting in the family. Everybody, you got to. I got to. What do you really got to do? All of a sudden, what's really important, the got tos, they got, depends on how you look at it. But for me, they got smaller. The only got tos after that is around family. You know what I mean? And I guess that's what this death is a good reminder of the importance of family and then your flow, because you want to flow for yourself and your family, and then once your family's flowing, then you all can flow for the world. You know. And the last thing I want to throw about the flow that I'm seeing in my family, because I want to put out this appreciation, especially to my daughter Chanel, and and to my other daughters. I haven't checked in with middle daughter yet, but there's some of the family that is stunning me with the transference of spirit of my dad to them around the flow, seeing the spirit. I've seen the spirit come into all of them, and I haven't seen anybody truly in shock. Otherwise, I would have done. I would have, and I would have taken care of that. Everybody is flowing well, but some people, like my daughter Chanel, just has absolutely accepted the spirit from the. Well, there was no accept. It was just a straight transference to her, as I think it was to me, and so she is the one guiding that in my family, that flow. And so as a dad, I couldn't be any prouder and appreciative having a daughter like that. And, it's been a week, and I finally got to talk to her last night. That's how strong a daughter that I have. She took that hit all by herself for an entire week before she even had to check in with dad. That makes me hecka proud. And it makes me hecka comforted that all is well, and Bob did his job as a grandpa, and I did my job as a dad, making sure that my daughter was strong and prepared in every way. In every way. So there's for today, and I love you, Shanelli. So proud of you for leading the family. Uh, Everybody's doing really, really well. Can't wait to see everybody. Uh, they are starting to check in with me now. Who I heard from? Christina. Christina, I touched base already, and so yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff coming, and you are well prepared. You have taken care of your physical needs, and I will be there for any of the other ones you need. And that is not a have to on Dad's part. That's a can do on Dad's part because Dad can. I love you, sweetheart. All right, you all have a good day and go with your flow. And if you have no flow, you do. You just don't realize it. Just sit, chill, like Grandma and Dad did for so many years when they were not able to get up, but they kept trying to, in their own minds, the same thing I did when I had paralysis, and that's how I came back from paralysis. Is I sat there and people sat there with me and helped me believe that I moved and that I could move until I did. So, and who brought that? The universe brought those people. That was the flow, and I allowed them. Could I? And there were times I said, no, leave me alone. I hurt. I don't want to flow. So, yeah, the flow's there. The flow is there. And don't impede it. And if you're impeding it, just get honest and get out of the way. All right. Love y'all. Have a good day.